Esh, Evrom, Theresh, Zeres, Lan. Think that's correct. Ah, yes, it is working. Good, good. Oh, if you can see me, my name is Galeas Seeker. I am a troubadour of dawn, a knight errant, one who seeks stories and seeks to share them. This is one such story. This is an old, old story. A story from before there were empires, before Casnea or Torunio. This is a story of hardship, of love, of bond, of virtue hard won. It is a story of slave, of darkness, and of the first oath. Long ago, long before there was any human nation, never mind an empire, long before any of that would lay claim to these lands, humanity still existed. But they were not free, they had no liberty, they were slaves under the yoke of inhuman masters. These oppressors. We often refer to them as orcs, but we don't really know. Are somewhat precursors to the Druids. They were cruel. They divided humanity into 7 factions, had them war against each other to keep them pliant, to stop them rebelling, to stop them having the strength to oppose their masters. Each slave bore the mark of their faction, right here on their face, so that they would all know that they were separate, so they would all know who the enemies were, who they were working against. But there was one, just one, leader amongst these people who saw these marks and saw that they did not matter, who looked upon everything that the oppressors did and thought, no, I shall show them a different way. I shall help unite them, bind them together. Together, we can work together, we can overthrow the oppressors. And they went out and they preached that far and wide to everyone who would listen and to some who wouldn't. The response was obvious. The oppressors took them, put them on display and publicly executed them, so that all would know the folly of doing what they did. So all would know that there was no working together. There was only working for them, as they said. This did not have the desired effect. Not quite. Oh, the slaves were cowed, their factions went back to work, and everything seemed as normal. But that night, that same night that they executed that young person, that one person who was not afraid to stand up and ask for freedom, the leaders of the 7 factions came together that night, in secrecy, in shadow, in darkness, under cover of night. They banded together. They saw what was on the wall. They saw that truly they could only work together if they wanted to win, if they wanted to be free. They could no longer work apart. And those 7 who bore biggest tattoos, biggest marks, all the slaves, swore that night to work together and to not stop until their peoples were free. The sheer loyalty of that act it sanctified that oath. It made it unbreakable. It gave them strength beyond anything that their masters could bring. They set aside all their rivalries and differences. to aid in the defeat of a common enemy. They affirmed this. They affirmed this utter devotion to their people in word and deed. And that is what loyalty is about. Of course then, they went back to their normal lives. They worked hard, diligently. They did what their masters wanted. They worked hard, very hard, to get into their master's good graces. To become favoured servants, trusted guards, get close to them. They succeeded in this too. And one night, when they were ready, they struck as one. They took out the leaders of the oppressors. They took them out in a single blow, left the enemy headless. They rose up their people, brought them up in revolt and rebellion to lead themselves to freedom. These 7 factions were no longer apart. They were no longer divided. They were united by their leaders coming together in this common goal, by this act of loyalty. And together, all of them together, they freed themselves from the yoke of the oppressors. That's the power of an oath. Now these 7 oaths sworn, the leaders of these factions, they continued to lead their people for many years. They helped them carve out a piece of the land for themselves. A piece of the land that was theirs and not the oppressors, where they could live free and have the lives that they wanted to have. And when they considered their work done, they joined hands once more, as they had when they swore their first oath. And they said the words of their oath again, that oath sanctified by that sheer act of loyalty and virtue. And as they said it, they passed into light and dust, and they ascended. They are one of the first paragons we know about. We don't know their name. We know them by the mark on their face, by the role they played. We know them as the mark, Paragons of Loyalty. We know them by the signs of their passing. We know them by the signs of their actions. Loyalty is not simply words or actions. It is the unity of both together. When you swear an oath, you demonstrate your loyalty by following through, by acting on your words and not letting them be hollow or empty. Follow the example of the mark when you make an oath. Be sure to hold to it as surely as they do, and that you can hold to it as surely as they did before you make the pledge. Oaths are very important to me. They're very important to my house. Breaking an oath to me is one of the worst things you can ever do. So do not break your loyalty. Make sure that your words are true and that your deeds follow them. Act in virtue. Right. Yawn. Yawn